My mom and I had an agreement that I would complete outpatient treatment, and after I would get Avery back. All of a sudden, my mom tells me that I can no longer make decisions for Avery and that she's going to remain in her care. My mom's literally put me through hell. I'm missing out on things like this and many, many more opportunities that I will never get back with her. I worked extremely hard, and because of that, I deserve to have Avery back. But my mom continues to portray me to our friends and family as a danger to Avery.
Why do you think you are ready to have her back?
I've done everything over the last year that my mom's asked. I've maintained my sobriety this time. I've still passed the hair follicle test. I've still passed the UAs. And if I'm not ever given a chance to raise Avery or have her in my life, how's she ever gonna know if I can do it or if I'm ready?
You say that you've never used drugs around Avery.
I've never used drugs around Avery. Whenever I used to use, it would be when the kids were gone. And I've never put her in harm's way.
She says you locked her in a closet so you could leave.
I never locked Avery in a closet.
I think Gabe is a horrible mother. She took out 5 cell phones in Avery's name, opened up 5 credit cards in Avery's name. I literally had to clean up my daughter's mess. I don't believe Avery would be safe in Gabe's care right now.
Just before we started, you got out of your chair, stool, and said, I can't do this.
I don't think I can do this.
Does that mean you want to leave?
I'll try to sit through it and do
Wow.
this. It's just
We
hard.
haven't even started, and you say you can't do this, but yet you want your child back?
It's hard to have everything from my past. Everything she said was all while I was actively using, and it was all over a year ago.
I'm confused. Is this about you or about your child
My
and you getting your
child.
child back?
My child.
But your adult says, I'm here for my child. I will walk through hell. I will do whatever I have to get my child. The first time you hear something you don't want to hear, it's like, I'm out, I can't do this. But yet you think you can raise a child?
I think I can raise my daughter.
If you quit first time you hear something you don't want to hear, I don't know. So you think she's not ready, why?
I've had Avery for 14 months, almost 15 months, and Gabe, she's gone 3 to 4 weeks without calling or FaceTiming her. She says, I don't want to have a relationship over the phone. I don't understand the reasoning. If I didn't have my child, I would be calling her every day.
I want a relationship in person with my daughter. It hurts me to see pictures and videos constantly when I'm not being allowed to be involved in her life.
But it's not just about you. It's about her.
I know.
Well, apparently you don't. A responsible parent would say, I need to be there for my child. If it means sacrifices on my part, I'll make them.
Right.
If it's tough on me emotionally, I'll endure it. I will do what's best for my child. That's putting your child's needs ahead of your own. I'm stunned at what I'm hearing. Last month, did you assist someone getting heroin by giving them a drug connect?
I gave him one of the phone numbers to one of his friends.
And you said, yeah, here you go. You followed them over there?
No, I did not.
She told me she waited so she could watch him get it.
Did you tell her
I
that?
told her that.
But you didn't do it. You just lied to her? You thought, I'm going to tell her a bad lie. I'm going to tell her something bad about myself just because I'm trying to impress her?
No, just to see what she'd say. Like, I tell her the truth. She thinks I'm lying either way whenever I am honest.
I'm trying to get my child from my mother, so I'm going to tell her that I'm trafficking in a drug deal. I'm going to tell my mother something bad about me, so she's less likely to give me my daughter back.
It wasn't the smartest thing to say.
It's either a bad lie or poor judgment, and I don't believe what you're saying. Now, Gabe's younger sister, Allie, sent us a video statement about why she worries about her sister and that she will never put her niece before herself.
I would not support my sister getting custody of Avery. She has chosen drugs above her. She did drugs while she was pregnant. Countless times, Gabe has left my niece and my nephew unattended. She just would disappear. A 5-year-old cannot take care of a baby. It's just neglectful. My sister used to put Dr. Pepper and chocolate milk and just terrible stuff in her bottles. Said, oh, that's all she's gonna drink. At the time that my mom took over guardianship of Avery, She was totally malnourished. You could see her ribs. That's my niece, a human that she made, that she's supposed to care about more than anybody else. It didn't matter to her. She just didn't care. I believe my sister is bipolar. 1 minute we'll text my mom and say, oh, I want Avery back. The next day, I'm never gonna do this and that. Oh, I don't want her back anymore. One day is one thing, one day is the next. It's completely the definition of bipolar. I cannot trust my sister. She has taken money from me, from my mom. She took jewelry from my stepmom. My sister used to rent furniture, and whenever she moved, she would sell the furniture. She doesn't have the qualities that it takes to be a good mom. And I don't think Avery's ever gonna be the top priority. I don't think she should be with Gabe.
What do you think about what your sister has to say?
My sister and I don't get along. We don't talk. She does not like me. She's never liked me, even whenever I was sober. So it doesn't surprise me. That's what I'd expect my sister to say. My sister doesn't speak to me or my brother.
Well, she would like to speak to you. Would you like to speak to her now?
No, I would not.
Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to tell you what you need to know because, look, this is what I do. I'm the person that makes these decisions. And so I know what the formula is. It's like if somebody said, look, if I can give you a map to really getting your daughter back and all you got to do is follow the map, you would do it. You don't have clarity. Look, there are certain parental factors that you have to go through, and they're very clear. Number one, you have to have a safe, stable, secure environment. And you have to demonstrate that, not for like a week or a day, you have to demonstrate that. Do you have that?
I do. I've had my own house, and I still continue to have my own house. I've not given it up in Oklahoma.
There's evidence to the contrary, and let's take a look at it. Because there's an allegation out there that at 20 months old, you left her supervised by her brother, a 6-year-old. That there was an active drug warrant when she was in your care, which means had you been stopped, you could have been arrested. And then she would have been taken by police to a social worker.
DHS in Oklahoma was aware of the warrant from Oregon, and DHS was aware of the allegation of me leaving her alone, the kids home alone, and actually talked to my 6-year-old and confirmed that the allegation was not true. And they said that they were not worried about that warrant because it did not affect my parenting with my child at the time.
Okay. No history of stability, bouncing from place to place, and you're not currently homeless?
No, I'm not. I drove out here to be able to be with my kids. I've not given up my home. I did tell my mom I did.
So you lied again?
I lied to my mom, yes.
To the guardian of your child?
Because she lied to me.
Okay. You've had 4 cars repossessed, and you constantly change phone numbers and disappear for days.
I live in the same place out there. I don't know how I disappeared just because I don't call my mom.
And you disappeared from us for 2 weeks.
I disappeared from you guys because I was in Oregon taking care of the warrant for 3 years that I'd had for 3 years, and I was really nervous about it and really stressed. And my mom kept badgering me to call and call and call because I didn't want to.
I thought Oklahoma told you don't worry about the warrant.
They told me not to worry about it a year and a half ago. But my mom said to get Avery, I needed to take care of the warrant. So I made myself go take care of the warrant.
Uh-huh.
And they took me off probation.
Okay, let's look at number 2 right quick. Number 2, loving, stable, nurturing relationship. And we've talked about that, but let's look at the facts about that. You've seen Avery 2 times in 14 months. You've missed 2 birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, every important milestone. You rarely call because you don't want a phone relationship. We've talked about that. I mean, so you have access and don't use it.
Anytime I call my mom,
she wants to start talking about things that are different. Like, called to talk to Avery, but she'll get on the phone. And whenever I call, I just want to talk to Avery. I don't want to talk to my mom half the time because we weren't getting along.
Yeah, but it's not about you. This is about determining where you are with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you. The whole point is, are you willing to make sacrifices for your daughter? You're saying, well, I'm uncomfortable talking to her, so the hell with my daughter, I just won't call. I won't
I have
call.
been calling.
I'm missing her birthdays. You won't call her on her birthday? You don't talk to her on her birthday? You don't see her on
I
her
call
birthday?
on her birthdays. I can't afford to fly out every birthday from Oklahoma to here.
It's not just the drugs that bothers me about what Gabe does. It's the way she thinks. She's always doing something to screw the system.
My mom constantly harps on all the bad things I've done, but I never hear her talk about my progress and how I'm doing in my recovery, or that she's proud of me.
One time she scammed an online handcrafted marketplace. She decided she was going to make masks for COVID and sell them. They were poorly made. People were wanting their money back. She finally just shut down the whole shop altogether, and she kept the money, knowing Gabe, she's never gonna pay that back. Recently, Gabe helped a friend file a false unemployment claim. He ended up getting $22,000, and she got a cut of $5,000 for helping him do it. It's crazy. I got a call from DHS right off the bat. I said, let me guess, Gabe got food stamps for Avery. He said, do you have her in your care? And I said, yes, I've had her for over a year. He said, don't worry, she won't get in trouble. She just has to pay it back. And I said, no, she needs to be in trouble. This is the problem. She never gets in trouble for anything she does. I just don't understand how she's ever gonna learn. She never has any accountability.
I absolutely take full accountability for everything I did while I was in active addiction. I screwed up. I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do as a parent or as a daughter or as a person, but I don't feel like it should be held over my head for the rest of my life because that's not who I am anymore.
I couldn't agree with you more. It shouldn't be held over your head for the rest of your life, and it's not who you are, it's what you did or do. And that's a good thing about behaviors. Behaviors have a beginning and an end. When the behavior ends, it's over. When you make new choices, new behaviors, then that's a new history. And that's what you want. You want a new history. The fact that you did drugs 5 years ago or 4 years ago or 3 years ago does not define who you are now. And it does not disqualify you from being a mother. But you have to own your choices and what you did and own the choices that you now make. I'm adding to the conversation Dr. Charles Sophy. Now, Dr. Sophy is a board-certified psychiatrist in 3 clinical specialties. And before he retired, he was medical director of the Department of Child and Family Services for Los Angeles, which is the largest agency in the country. You've been listening to everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, I have.
And I'm saying that she is approaching this in a very unrealistic way, and that this decision is not up to mom here.
Absolutely
Once
not.
they enter the system, the court takes this over, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they would think they have the power to do that. I mean, they're almost committing a crime. You say that nobody holds her accountable. You're not holding her accountable either. You're just using this child.
Well, as soon as I knew she was using, I took her
No,
immediately.
you knew she was using 3 months before you
Right.
gave her back.
Right.
I mean, as soon as, well, that's after she said, Mom, I did this, I did that, I did the parenting classes, I did the drug classes, I did everything the courts say I have to do. And so I said, okay, so at Christmas time, we're gonna do a trial. So I gave her back as a trial, and then she picked up her son and left to go to Oklahoma.
But it's not up to you.
Her boyfriend.
I mean, a few months ago, she just committed a crime of fraud with that unemployment thing.
Well, I still have Avery now.
I know,
haven't
but she's
given
still
her back.
committing crimes,
I
is my
didn't
point.
commit any
Right.
fraud with unemployment whatsoever. I helped fill out his claim
That's
because
the
he
same
asked
thing.
me to
That's the
with
same
his
thing as-
information.
It's the same thing as giving somebody a number to a drug addict or a drug dealer. I mean, you're an accessory, whether you want to
He had
slice it the
worked.
way-
It was his legal claim.
I know, but that's how the court would see it, is all I'm
Okay.
telling you. We want you to have your child, but you have to do it the right way.
Did you scam people on the mask thing?
No, I did not mean to at all. What happened is I got way over my head, and all of a sudden I had like 200 orders, and I couldn't fill them all.
Did you send the people their money back?
Yes, the people got their money back.
Be sure you're really accurate with what you say right now, because
Yes,
you're
I'm
creating a
100%.
video record that the court's going to review.
I'm
And if you're
100%.
saying you sent people money back, and people come forward and say, I have right here a record where I sent her money and she didn't send me my money back, then the court's going to say that as of this date, you're still lying.
Yes, so everyone got their money back.
100% of your customers got their
100%
refunds.
got their money back.
My daughter Gabe doesn't call Avery on a regular basis. When she does call, she doesn't ask about Avery, how she's doing, if she's learned any new words, what's going on in her life. I definitely think Avery sees me as a mother figure. I refer to myself as grandma, but she still calls me mom. She's never called me grandma, so I just go with it. My bond with Avery is amazing. I love spending time with her. She's so much fun. She's a giggly girl. She goes to school now and she loves to ride her bike outside. She's everything to me.
If you defrauded the government on unemployment, I'm not saying you did, and you don't need to say that you did.
No, I didn't.
I'm saying if you did, and if you scammed people out of money on the internet, and if you were an accessory in a heroin deal, these things add up to 32 years of prison time. And that's why you don't need to respond. I don't want you to incriminate yourself, but I'm telling you, your choices are adding up to serious problems, meaning that you're in a situation where you need to not only avoid impropriety, you need to avoid the appearance of impropriety.
Right.
Let me tell you, this is what we do. We're the people, someone just like us is going to be looking at this record and saying, no.
Yeah, and it's like the mask thing, it's just my mom assuming because she saw a comment, some people weren't happy with their stuff, and that's why they got their refund.
The issue is, what we need to see in a parent is somebody who can make a decision, the right decision for that child. That's called judgment, and you need insight to be able to do that. All of those issues that we just described are all showing your poor judgment, and you don't have insight into thinking before you act. That's what we're talking about, the bigger picture, not the specifics.
Okay.
Yes, they're important. Bigger picture is your
I get it.
thinking process. That's what has to be demonstrated, and it's not demonstrated well when you're lying to her for no reason or you're implicating yourself in that kind of crap. It's judgment and insight.
Let me add something to this and let you respond to this. Have you opened up credit cards in your daughter's name?
Just be honest.
Yeah, I did, whenever I was using last year.
And you got phones in your daughter's name?
That was all at the same time.
Yeah, but yet you said to me, I would never do anything to harm my daughter.
I thought you meant physically,
Harm is harm.
which makes sense.
And you know what? The minute that you told the truth about this is when I would think about giving you your kid, because you opened up and you told the truth. You don't have to lie. Just be honest.
She's 3 years old and has a credit score.
Right.
And when you're able to say,
Right.
oh my God, that's terrible. I recognize that's terrible. I should have never done that.
And I have hundreds of times, but my mom wants to talk about it every time, like over and over and over again. How many times can you talk about the same thing over again? Like,
until you own it and stop saying, I would never do anything to harm my daughter.
Right.
When we're looking at it, and we know that you have. We look at the parental fitness factors, and I don't have to go through all of these, but feeding, clothing, and physical care, we look at the facts under that, and you did drugs before going to the hospital. The child was, at 23 months, was malnourished. She's not fed at home because she's fed. And did you keep vaccinations up to date?
I didn't keep vaccinations up to date because me and my ex-husband didn't believe in vaccinating.
Yeah.
So that was just a personal choice that
Yeah,
we had
and
as a
it
family.
all comes down to number 10, appropriate judgment regarding the child's welfare.
Right.
And the answer is, you don't make appropriate judgment regarding a child's welfare. You put your interest ahead of their own. And that's the key here. And it's ability to identify and prioritize the child's needs ahead of your own. You won't even call and put the child's needs ahead of your own. Now, today, this week, you're still putting your needs ahead of your child. It's uncomfortable for me to call.
But I still have been calling.
Pardon me?
I still have been calling. I don't call every single day, but I make sure I do call during the week.
Panacea to get her away from your mother. You don't seem to have any gratitude for your mother, and you seem to think, if I can just get her back to Oklahoma with these people, I get the feeling that you think, if I can get her back there, I can manipulate these people.
Not at all.
Her world is going fine, and you want to uproot her and move her somewhere else for you. Not for her, but for you.
But how long can someone go emotionally being told something before they just don't?
What?
You do. Let me answer that question, and this will be the final question, and then we will be done here, okay? And I know you want out of this pressure cooker. You do it until you violated the privilege. Now you need to earn the right, and you do it until. And if you want to have this conflict with your mother, the good news is you don't have to please your mother. You have to demonstrate to an objective finder of fact in the family court system that you meet all 10 of these factors. And you can do that. You can do that. And you need some help individually, and I will get that help for you. You have to demonstrate to the court that you have matured and put your child's needs ahead of your own.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You can do it. And if you care, you will, and if you don't, you won't. I mean, it's hard to talk your way out of a situation you behaved your way into. You behaved your way into this drug world. It's hard to talk your way out of it. You have to behave your way out of it. You behaved into it, behave out of it. Look, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so I'm going to set you up with a doctor-on-demand therapist, somebody you can see. It's a company we own, so I know that I can make it happen, and I'll jumpstart you with 10 immediate sessions so you can get rolling, and let them help you set up how to execute this 10-point plan and document it. Document what you're doing every step of the way. So you can go to the court and say, look, here's the deal. I talked to the bald guy. He said these 10 points are what you guys look for, and I've got them in spades, and I want to start phasing my way back into my daughter's life. I deserve it. I've earned it, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you. And here's where we're starting, right here. They'll go, wow, this lady's buttoned up. Let's get her moving towards her daughter. And you'd love that, wouldn't you?
That's what I want.
I
I want you to have Avery. That's the end goal.
But it's up to the court. It's not up to her. It doesn't matter whether she wanted you to have her or not. The court says fit, you come first. Okay. Your biology puts you first position if you're fit. So get fit, she doesn't get a vote, then you don't have any conflict. And God bless you for stepping up and doing what you've done in the time you've done it, and quit thinking you're the court. You're not.
Right.
You'll get in trouble.
I just want her to be healthy.
But God bless you for stepping up and filling the void. All right. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download Doctor on Demand app. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave that with you, and
Thank you.
And I'm going to get you that help right away.
Thank you.
Can she get her daughter back?
You've seen Avery 2 times in 14 months. Have you opened up credit cards in your daughter's name?
Yeah, I did. How many times can you talk about the same thing over again?
Until you own it and stop saying, I would never do anything to harm my daughter.
Next, Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.